best strategy. Oh! Oh, nom, 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 nom. So delicious.
All right, guys, we have yet another, we've literally moved 4.5 feet to the right, and we are now interviewing another member of the Captain Canuck family, Mr. George Zoddy, I believe.
That's correct.
Whoa, yes! We were
Yes,
just talking
you got
about
it.
how bad we both are with
Awful.
names. That's 2 for 2 now.
Yeah.
I can go home and sleep well tonight. Bob.
Bob.
By the end of this interview, I'll be Steve or something like that, and we'll call it a wash.
Actually, I like Steve better. Let's go with Steve.
Well, Steve is a little bit less of a common name.
I think we'll go with Steve.
Steve, do I look like a Steve to you?
Now you do.
Oh,
So Steve.
it's that easy. Steve it is. Mom, you missed out on a great opportunity. Could have been a Steve. So you, sir, are involved in heavily the web series,
Yes.
if I am not mistaken.
We're doing we're doing everything for Captain Canuck. So what we're doing, we're involved in the web series, did some scripting for that, and really what we're pushing forward is the new comic book. So Kalman Andrzejowski, who's doing the lion's share of the writing and the illustration, and really it's his best work. His stuff is amazing. He's a cover artist for Marvel and DC. So I'm helping him write that a little bit. He's doing the lion's share of it, but I'm helping out with some scripting and stuff like that. But I'm also producing the book.
Oh, excellent.
So I'm a store in Toronto, and I've known Kalman for a lot of years. He's a friend of mine. So when the opportunity came up to, bring back Canada's superhero, we went, yeah, let's make this happen.
I mean, how many people do you have to talk to before this happens? I mean, really, it's Captain Canuck. We only have so many superheroes.
Yeah.
The list is not great. At least not superheroes made by Canadians also.
Exactly, and that's the key. It's a superhero made by Canadians, and the entire book is Canadian. Like right from the money behind it to the guy doing the lettering. Ed Brisson is doing our lettering, and he's actually retired from lettering. He's a full-time comic writer.
Oh, wow.
And he said, for Captain Canuck, I'll step backwards and do lettering for you
That's
guys.
amazing.
So he's awesome. He's writing our backups, our classic Canuck backups.
Yes.
So 100% Canadian.
Wow. See, I like that. Anything that's 100% Canadian, I can get behind. 110%. Now, what was it like taking the comic series and converting that into something like a web series, right? I mean, I'm assuming this was the first time that it was put to motion.
Yes.
And so what was that kind of experience like, making that become a reality?
Well, I mean, the story was there. So we were dealing with the stories with 2 of our original collaborators, Dean and Paul Gardner. And so they had experience in television. So those guys came from a television background.
Okay.
So like an animation and a Canadian television background. So
Right.
that's why we partnered with those guys and said, okay, we know comic books and we know stories. You know TV and you know stories. We all have a love of Canadian heroes, and we all remember Captain Canuck from when we were kids. Let's try to make this happen. So Fatty Akeem, who owns a restaurant in Toronto, and it's hilarious. Captain Canuck came back because of a sandwich. I'm not kidding.
Okay, all right, okay, hold on now. Please tell me that in the midst of all this, you're about to inform me that somewhere in Canada there's a sandwich named after Captain Canuck. Please tell me that exists.
That absolutely exists.
All right, now. Okay, now the next thing you need to tell me before you go any further is what the heck is on this sandwich that makes it a Captain Canuck sandwich, if you know.
Oh, what do you think? So it's the sandwich that's available at the Lakeview, which is a restaurant that Fatty owns.
Okay.
He brought in a maple female bacon sandwich, and he wanted to call it the Captain Canuck.
That's pretty Canadian.
Yeah.
That's pretty Canadian.
So he contacted Richard and said, hey, can I call this sandwich Captain Canuck, because I loved the comic when I was a kid, and can I make little placemats for kids with Captain Canuck on it?
Right.
And Richard was like, yeah, absolutely. And then Fatty was just so excited to starting to do Captain Canuck stuff. He went, hey, can I buy the rights and can I get a group of these guys together and can we start doing Captain Canuck again? And Richard's like, sure. Richard was like, wow, I can't even believe people are still interested after 40 years. And we're like, yeah, man, let's get this going. So Richard's been awesome with giving us the rights and letting us play with the characters.
Yeah.
We took a lot of the characters that were, because it was 1975, so the only women in the comic book were hostage number 2. So we took 3 of the main characters and made them women, and Richard's like, oh, wow, that's okay, weird. All right, modern comic books, I understand. Okay.
Of course.
So he's let us play with his world and, change a bunch of stuff. But we still kept it at the core. It's still the same character. Mm-hmm. His powers are kind of still got the same way. Mm-hmm. And we have to stick to the heart who Captain Canuck is.
Of course.
I mean, so if you watch the web series, he's threatening a villain. He says, tell me the information. The villain said, what are you going to do, kill me? And then Captain Canuck says, no, I won't kill, but I will break. So that's our Canuck.
Man, I love one-liners are so,
Yeah.
one-liners are in this weird realm where you have to make them so bad that they're good.
Yes, exactly.
And the king of all one-liners, of course, being like Horatio from my CSI Miami, the one-liner king. However, anytime you can get a good dad joke one-liner in,
That's awesome.
that's awesome. That's awesome.
Canuck is actually full of dad jokes. He's kind of like, the country's dad. So
I've been really missing out on all this. Apparently, I mean, I've been like a fan from the back, just saying I love the fact that this exists. But apparently, I'm missing out on a lot of great dad jokes, and now and sandwiches.
And sandwiches.
And now I need to dive back into this whole thing. Well, that's fantastic. Well, is there any place that people can go, other where maybe they can pick up something like the web series or merchandise or where they can keep up with Captain Canuck in general, just on the internet?
absolutely. At CaptainCanuck.com, you can go watch the animated webisodes for free. Go check it out.
Okay.
We sell merch on the web too, so all of this stuff is available on the website. And for next year, which is the 40th anniversary of Canuck, we're gonna pull out all the stops and bring out some real Canadian merchandise. I mean, maple syrup is pretty damn Canadian.
That is, I mean,
It's pretty damn Canadian.
Yes, it's not Canadian Club, but it's pretty close.
Yeah.
It's pretty close.
So next year we're gonna see Captain Canuck toques, some hockey jerseys.
Ooh, toques. Now you're talking Canadian.
Now we're talking Canadian. Some toques and some hockey jerseys.
Fantastic.
And we'll make it so that maybe everywhere in Canada has a Captain Canuck sandwich.
Oh man. The dream is real, ladies and gentlemen. Well, George, thank you very much for your time, sir.
Thank you, Steve.
Thank you. Well, hey, what can I say? What can I say? I'm a man of many faces and many names, and we'll see you guys soon.